Hey there guys, how you doing? Joshua here from Gander Flight. So as RVers, we know there's a lot of gear that goes along with RVing. Some things you need and some things you want. Today I want to talk about a few pieces of gear that make our RVing experience that much better, but aren't necessarily related directly to the RV. Let's go take a look. So the first one is a neck knife. Now why do I like a neck knife? Well, I carry a pocket knife all the time when I'm not RVing. And the problem is that when we're RVing, a lot of times I'm in my swim trunks and a pocket knife in swim trunks just doesn't work. It falls out, the clip doesn't stay clipped to the pocket, and I don't like being without a knife. So the solution is a neck knife. Now this one is from Patrick Rohrman of MT Knives. I'll put a link to his website down below. It's stupid sharp. But the reason I like the neck knife is because it's accessible. It doesn't need pockets, it's all self-contained. It's sitting there around the neck. I can hide it underneath my shirt if I don't need it visible. I just pull it out when I need it. This thing from Patrick is wicked sharp, and I highly recommend it. It's called the Genesis. And I'll put a link in the description box below for that. Go check out his website and tell him Joshua sent you. But I really like the neck knife because it's easy on, easy off. When we're down at the beach, I can take it off and put it in, with my keys, my wallet. And then when we're ready to come back, I can put it back on, and I've got a knife easily accessible. That's not weighing down my swim trunks. It's not getting in the way. And I think it's a good alternative to having a traditional pocket knife when you have some sort of bottoms on that don't necessarily work with that. I don't need the knife falling out, don't need it pulling down my shorts, all that jazz. So definitely consider a neck knife as an alternative to a pocket knife when you're in situations where a traditional pocket knife really doesn't work. All right, so the second and third pieces of gear are here in the trunk, and they both revolve around the rearview mirror. Definitely check your local laws and regulations and make sure that you're not breaking any ordinances by doing either of these two gear modifications. But the first one I like is this Rescue Me seatbelt cutter. It was designed to go around your keychain, hang on your keychain, and so it's got a key ring, and you pop it off, and it's got a seatbelt cutter and a glass breaker. And they're really cool, nice and compact. You can get them in a bunch of different colors. I like black because it blends in. And the way that I use it is I grab a zip tie and I run it through that key ring. And then I run it up around the rear view mirror here and run it through. Pull it up tight. And now what's really cool is it is accessible in any position, upright, should God forbid your car go upside down, from both the passenger and the driver. Both of us have access to this. Be able to reach up, pop it down, have seatbelt cutter or glass breaker access. I run these in all of my cars, and I'm giving them out as gifts as well. I really like them, and I really like using them in this configuration, not on the key rings, but here, so that both the passenger and the driver have access to that. So if you want a very cheap insurance policy, something you can add to your car, definitely do that. You only need it once for it to be well worth its while. And it's easily accessible too. If you come up on an accident or something, you can grab that on your way out the door to go help. I'll put a link down below with these two. I've been having these in my car going on 6 years now, and I absolutely love them. And hey, if you're into DIY, tinkering, fixing, or making, check out our free group. I'll put a link in the description box below. All right, the third piece of gear is a wide angle rear view mirror. Now I've had this one going on 7 years. And we got it when we were pregnant and getting ready for the babies to come. It just clips on with these tension clips over your rear view mirror. And what it does is provide an extra wide angle, both vertically and horizontally. And so I can see the entire back seat of my car, which is awesome to see the kids, which is originally why we bought this. But now that we're towing a trailer and getting out and RVing more, what's really cool is that I can see out that back rear window. I can see the entire rear window, but the back passenger window I can see out through this mirror. It's awesome for that blind spot. I can't speak highly enough for these. I've only had experience with this one brand, but the idea of a wide rear view mirror has been super helpful for us. It's been super helpful with the kids and also for just filling out those blind spots. And I highly recommend you checking them out and see if something like this would work for you. I've used this specific one on 4 different vehicles. Ranging from a super thin, just standard traditional rearview mirror to this one is probably about 3 or 4 inches thick, and they've all held up and held on terrifically. All right guys, so the next piece of gear is an emergency item. It's also a fun science project, and it's just plain fun. Now, this is a acrylic Fornell lens. Basically a foldable magnifying glass, and a big one. It's almost 5 o'clock, and I want to show you how well these work. It's cool because they weigh absolutely nothing. You can stick them in the glove box in your car, you can stick them away under the mattress in the RV, you can stick them in your day pack, so you always have a source of ignition as long as the sun is shining. Obviously they're not going to work at night, but it's a good backup ignition source, a good emergency item. So we got some dry grass here. Again, it's almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're just going to see how well these work. There we go. We've got ignition. So that was less than 2 minutes, probably a minute and a half maybe. Definitely a fun experiment and pretty darn cool. So I picked these up on Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description box below. But if you want these guys on steroids, check out a guy named Eric Botcher. He's a survivalist, and he created these, which is where I was first exposed to this idea. They're basically these Fornell lens on steroids. It's twice as thick. The ridges of the Fornell lens are deeper, which means more concentration, and they're a little bit thicker acrylic. I'll put a link to his Instagram page or his web page down below, and you can check him out too. These are definitely a bit more expensive, but they work much faster than this. Even though this was less than 2 minutes, it's still pretty cool. But if you want the turbo version, check out Eric Botcher. This next one, people are either gonna love it or they're gonna hate it, and that is footwear, Crocs specifically. Now we really like Crocs because they are both a slip-on and they have a heel strap. And what's really cool about that is that when you're going in and out of the trailer, the slip-on is perfect because you can leave the shoes outside or right inside the door, quick on, quick off. They're also truly amphibious. You can wear them in the water, you can wear them hiking, you can wear them biking. If they fall off in the water, they float, which is fantastic. And we just find them as a perfect all-around shoe for normal everyday activities. Now if we're going for a big hike, we'll put some shoes on, some tie shoes. But for around camp, going down to the beach, going for a short hike, exploring, man, Crocs just can't be beat. They're inexpensive and they work great. Truly amphibious, which is perfect because you don't have to worry about shoes getting wet, shoes drying. We really like them. And if it's not Crocs for you, then look for something that's slip-on and has that heel strap. Something that's truly amphibious would be great too. I think these are far underrated as a piece of camping and RV gear, and I definitely wanted to include them on this list. And for my final piece of gear, it revolves around outdoor kitchens. Now we bought this camper because it has an outdoor sink. We know that our family uses that, and it was just a feature we were looking for in a new camper. On our previous one, on our pop-ups, we made our own outdoor sink, and that's what I want to show you. This fish cleaning sink that I purchased off of Amazon did wonders for us. It allowed us to hook up water, get running water outside the camper so that we could wash hands, we could do a few dishes. If you don't have an outdoor sink, definitely look into this piece of gear because it will make your life so much better not having to go in and out of the camper to get running water. We used a little store and tote that you can go and dump at the dump station, and it worked awesome. And so if you don't have an outdoor sink on your RV, definitely look into the fish cleaning sink and figure out if that type of solution could work for you to get running water outside your RV. What would be really cool is if you go to the hardware store and get some ball valves for the hot and cold low point drains in your RV, connect them via a Y splitter, and hook up hot and cold water to the outdoor sink. There you are, guys. There's my list of several things that make our RVing experience that much better that are not related to the RV itself. I hope you enjoyed it. If you found any value in this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Joshua and you've been watching Get Our Flight. Take care and pay it forward.